Welcome to the Guns and Noses podcast. My name's Helen Taylor and I am the owner of Guns and Noses, and I own 3 Labradors. We're here to talk about real moments, real lives, and the wins, the wobblers, and the occasional up yours moments. We're talking about those dogs with enthusiasm and us humans who are trying to keep up. So why don't you sit back, grab a brew, slow down, and listen in. Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the Guns and Noses podcast. I hope you have had an absolutely fabulous weekend and your week is being kind to you so far. I have had the most wonderful May of training and I've got so many beautiful clients who are trying so hard with their enthusiastic dogs, but we're seeing real progress. But this week's podcast it's called The Wait versus the Stay, and are they different? Now, this is because during training sessions, I sort of watch what people are doing, what they're saying, how they're interacting with their dogs and what they're meaning. And the last few podcast episodes has sort of really delved into what cues mean and what you mean when you say to your dogs. And this one is the wait versus the stay debate. And what do you mean by it? Now, for me, a wait is a pause in time. It's a hesitation. It's a sit, wait, you're going to do something pretty quickly. It's a wait while we look across the road and we cross. Whereas the stay is about holding that position until you are released. It might be a position at a distance or it might be a position within your vicinity. And it all matters. And it matters for our dog's sake. It matters for our sake. Because if we're saying the correct thing and our dogs are responding to that correct thing, then there's going to be less frustration from both ends of the lead. There's going to be better communication between you, and life just becomes a little more relaxed and calm. But to get there, we have to reflect, because if we don't reflect on what it is that we do in a day or how we handle our dogs or, a moment in time, then we never improve, we never get any better. So I want you to think about this one, the wait versus the stay. Now, I will encourage people quite a lot of the time during training sessions to just use the word sit to make it even more simple. Like I said in the last couple of episodes, sit is the most generalized cue that we can use. So if you're trying to teach a sit-stay, where you leave your dog in the sit and you move away from them for an amount of time that could be unknown, just saying the word sit can really help the dog out, because you're just telling them to do a position that you've been training for months or years, dependent on how old the dog is. And it can just make sense. So in a gun dog session, we were working on the sit-stay while we were moving away from our dogs to then do recall. And there was a handler who was having a little bit of a tough time because their spaniel didn't really get what it was that they were trying to achieve. And I said, just let's take away that cue, that extra word of the stay. Let's just try sit. And as soon as she took away the stay cue or the stay word and just said sit, the dog relaxed, the dog understood, and the dog sat. Then what happened was the owner was trying to create distance. So I said again, just remind them in that cue sandwich, sit. Good, sit. And just remind the dog what you want them to do. But then let's add a release cue. So a release cue is a word that we use to tell our dogs to go free. So you ask them to sit, you put the food bowl down, you say, okay, that's a release cue, the okay. You go somewhere where you're going to go free running and the dog's allowed off the lead. You get there, you ask the dog to sit, you unclip the lead, you wait a moment, you say, okay, off you go. That's a release cue. And once we add a release cue into the stay behaviour, it becomes so simple for the dog. Remember, I like simplicity. And actually, most dog trainers will say very little to their dogs. There's very few cues and words that come through. When people watch me handling their dogs, I don't actually say that much to their dogs at all. I use my body language. I use rewards, so whatever rewards it is that I'm using for that particular dog, whether it be food rewards or toy rewards, I'll use verbal rewards, but actually I say very little when it comes to the word that I want them to understand initially, because if I'm adding the word stay and the dog keeps getting up, what I'm doing is I'm linking that word stay to the dog keeping on getting up. And this is where we can end up with a yo-yo dog as well. So I talked about yo-yo dogs and lead walking a few episodes ago, and we can get the same in the stay. So you ask your dog to sit, you say stay, your dog's bottom gets up. You go back to them, you tell them to sit, you back off, you tell them to stay, your dog's bottom gets up, you go back to them. And what's happening there is your dog's thinking that what you want from them in the stay is for their bottoms to actually get up. So this is another really reflective episode for you. Another one that when you're asking your dog to wait at a curb or wait at the door or wait before they jump out of the boot, it's a small moment in time. It's about 10 seconds, if not less. But your stay is a position that you want them to stay in until you release them. So we should have release cues on the wait as well. But this is why I don't overcomplicate it. I'll say sit. I'll then go about what it is that I'm doing. So if it's a longer stay, so there's more duration on it, and I'm wanting to teach the dog to stay there for a few minutes, I'll move away from them, I'll stand at a distance, and I'll wait and hesitate. But all I've had to do is say the word sit. Because if your dog understands that the word sit means exactly that, and you move from that position when I say okay, your release cue, what you'll find is it becomes so clear for the dog, so clear for you. It's not complicated, and there's definitely no grey areas. So if you use the words wait and stay interchangeably when you're handling your dogs and you're thinking, well, actually, my dog's really not getting this. They don't understand it. They're not sure on what it is that I mean. I'm going to challenge you to really think about what it is that you're saying. You're going to reflect on each moment. Am I saying the correct thing at the correct time? And am I giving them a release cue? Now, the other thing that I want to sort of point you in the direction of is when we do these waits and stays and we do the release cue, we can release them and then ask them to do something else. So you've asked them to do a stay, you've backed up, you've said, okay, come. So you've released them from the position and then you've told them what to do, which is the recall to come into you. So have a little bit of reflection this week. Are you using wait, or are you using stay, or are you using a mixture of the two? Are you giving your dogs a release cue? And are you making sure that what you're saying makes complete sense to your dog? if you really enjoyed this podcast, please do share it with other people who you think might find it useful. Please hit that follow button and you will get to know when each episode comes out. And it really does help the algorithm of Spotify and Apple to be able to push these types of podcasts into other people. But until next time, enjoy your training, enjoy the sunshine, keep smiling and try to keep up. Thank you for spending this time with me. If today's episode helped you slow down, feel seen, or think a little differently about your dog, then it's done its job. Remember, progress isn't about perfection, it's about observation and reflection. You're not behind, you're not failing, and you're definitely not alone. Until next time, keep training kindly and try to keep up.